Hey everyone, welcome to Fresh Library YouTube channel. Today in this session, we are going to learn about Unix and Linux operating systems. Um, what is an OS? What is the difference between Windows OS and Linux and Unix OS? Uh, what is the history of Linux OS? And who introduced this Linux OS when it was able to available for the public, and also what are the different clone apps in Unix OS. Okay, by the end of this class, you are able to learn about all these topics. First one is what is an uh, OS, uh, and also uh, what are the different uh, operating systems like Unix and Windows, and difference between the Windows and Linux OSs, and who invented this Linux OS and when it was introduced, when it was available for the public. Okay, without any further delay, let's start our today's session. Before proceeding into the today's session, let's an overview of our course content. Now I am going to open our course content. Yeah, this is our course content. So, first we will discuss about history of operating system, history of Unix, history of Linux, difference between Windows and Linux operating systems, types of operating systems, okay, architecture, and installation of Linux operating system. Okay, in upcoming lessons, all these topics we are going to discuss, but in this today's topic we are going to discuss about only these topics: history of operating system, history of Unix, Linux, and difference between Windows and Linux operating systems, and types of operating system. Okay, so here I am going to share the live class notes link. First, today's our topic is Unix or Linux. Yeah, first, what is an Unix or Linux? Unix or Linux, both are operating systems. Okay, both are operating systems. Uh, what is an operating system? What is an OS or what is an operating system? Okay, first we are going to learn about what is an OS. What is an OS? Otherwise, it's a question, right? So what is an OS? OS is an operating system. It is the interface between the user and computer hardware. It is the interface between the user and computer hardware. Generally, uh, the computers or system will understand only binary languages. Will understand only binary languages, and humans can understand our language like English, uh, Tamil, Kannada, or any foreign languages, French. Okay, so you human can understand by these languages, English and Kannada or French languages, other country languages. But a system can only understand binary languages. If you give input as English or any other language to the system, then it will convert that kind of language into binary language. Okay, that kind of language into binary language. Okay, first one, what is an OS? It is an it is an interface between interface between user and computer hardware. Computer hardware. Okay. What is an hardware? Hardware, we are having two terminals. First one is software, second one is hardware. So what is software? Software is an what we can call, what we can say, software uh, which includes programs, okay, or collection of programs, okay, combination of programs, we can call like that. Combination of programs or a collection of programs is called as an software. But what is an hardware? Hardware means hardware components like which we can see, which we can touch, uh, which are parts of a electronic devices, which are parts of an electronic devices. So examples of hardwares are CPU, motherboard, RAM, ROM, processor. Okay, we are having different kinds of processor. So these are all are comes under in hardware. These all are comes under in hardware. Software collection of programs. Okay, so in between these hardware and software, we used to use OSs, or in between these system and hardware, then we used to use OS is nothing but an operating system. It is the interface between user and computer hardware. Okay, so why we need OS in between these computer hardware and user? Let's take an real-time example. If you know any one of language like English, and you are going to give speech in particular region or particular area or particular location, but those people can only understand their regional language, okay, like French or Dutch, any other languages. So you are very proficient in your language, and you are very proficient in what you know, and you are very expert in delivering the content. But the only problem is you only know about, you can only speak English, but the other can understand other languages. So in this situation, you used to hire a person to translate your English language into some other languages, your English language into some other regional languages. So the translator is nothing but an here OS. So here OS also, it will translate some binary language into uh, human understandable language, and human language or user language into binary language. Then only the system or computer or laptop can understand uh, that line for languages. Okay, so for understanding and for translating uh, between the user and computer hardware, we need to use OS. Okay, so in OS we used to remember a few points. First one is OS is an interface between the user and computer hardware, and second point is it is acts as a translator between the user and the operating, I mean, system. Okay, it is a translator between, it is a translator between user and computer hardware. And third point, you make sure you have to remember that we can install the packages in this OS. We can install the packages in this OS. We can so we can we can install we can install packages in the software. Packages in the software or packages in the operating system. Package in operating system. Okay. So we can install the packages in operating system. And the second thing, so here I'm going to explain this topic by using diagrams. For this purpose I am going to use a Word document. In this document, first I am going to write what is an OS. So Control C. Okay. Now I'm going to take the diagrams for this to understand in a easy way. First of all, I'm taking uh, yeah, I'm taking one system. Okay. So it is an system. Okay. Next thing, I'm going to take user. Okay. Here I'm taking user. Otherwise, just wait. User. This is what this one is. User. Okay. So user has to interact with the system. Okay, user has to interact with the system, but user can only know English language. Okay, user can only know English language. English. And the system can only understand binary language. I will tell you about binary language first. Okay, so here Binary. Binary means two, right? Bi means two. So the two digits, binary means two digits. The two digits will be 0 and 1. So here I am writing 2. Uh, those are either 0, 0 or 1. Okay, so binary means two digits, either 0 or either 1. So the system can only understand the binary language. So if you want to communicate with the system, then the system will take you whatever you give the input in which different kind of language like English or any other languages, but it will translate that English or any other regional language into these binary digits. Okay, so here I am going to give here system can only understand binary language, right? So here I am going to represent the binary digits which a system can understand. Okay. 0 1 0 1 0 1. Okay, or 1 0 1 0 1 0. Okay, like that it can understand. If you give any other language it won't understand. Means it will translate to understand. Okay. And so here the user has to interact with the system. User has to interact with the system. Sorry. So if the user wants to interact with the system, then we need one uh, translator. That translator is here called as an OS. Okay, the translator is an OS. OS is nothing but an operating system. Operating system. It is used to. It will. Converts or translate the binary language into user language or user language into binary language. Okay, so we can also say this as it will use to translate the high language into low level language, low level language into high level language. So system if suppose a system can understand only low level language and the user can only understand high level language. Okay, so high level language is our human readable language like English, Hindi, or French or Dutch, anything. Okay, and low level language means binary digits 1 0 0 1. Okay, like this. So it will translate from high level language into low level language, low level language into high level language, vice versa. Okay, so here I'm writing that no point here in our daily class notes. It will translates high level language into low level language. Low level language and low level language into low level language into high level language, vice versa. Okay, so here I'm going to represent this line as second line. Okay, so here it will translate high level language into low level language and low level language into high level language, vice versa. Okay, that is the main purpose of operating system. Okay, so we have learned about OS. Okay, what is an operating system? Now we are going to learn about how many types of the OS is here will have, and first which OS was introduced. Okay, first which OS was introduced. First, the first introduced OS is MS DOS. MS DOS. MS MS means Microsoft. DOS operating system. We used to call DOS operating system. Okay. So, what is the main, how it will operate? How can we interact with the MS DOS OS is by using CLI. By using CLI. What is CLI? CLI stands for command line interface. CLI. Okay. Stands for command line interface. Okay. And it is an free operating system. Free means we don't need to register, we need to purchase to use. Uh, it is available to the public for free of cost. Okay, it is available to the public for free of cost. Okay, so here it's an free OS or operating system. Okay, free OS, or I will say operating system only. Operating system. Okay, so it is an free operating system, but the main drawback of this is it won't give multi-user support. Multi-users cannot use the share of this MS DOS. Okay, that's why the MS same company, or that means Microsoft only releases another operating system called MS Win. MS Win. Win means Windows. Okay. The drawback, first I need to write here the drawback of MS DOS. What is the drawback of this? It can't, it will not support multi-user. Okay. It will not support multi-user. So that's why it was introduced MS Win. And it is, remember guys, it is an CLI operating system. CLI means command line interface. So if you want to interact with the OS, then we need to give the commands to interact with the OS. We need to give commands to interact with the OS. For suppose if you want to create a file, then we just for example I'm saying we need to use then create command to create uh, this ms one file. Okay, or if you want to delete, then here in our normal operating system we used to right click through the mouse or keyboard actions, then we used to delete the file which we want to delete. Okay, but in ms DOS we have to use commands only, then only we can interact with the ms DOS. Okay, so and it will not support multi-user functionality. So that's why ms DOS ms Microsoft only releases another OS called ms Win. ms Win means Windows operating system. So ms Win is not an CLI. ms Win is an GUI. Okay, what is GUI? GUI stands for graphical user interface. GUI. So here I am representing that one. Graphical user interface. Okay, so now we are using Linux, Windows only. So in Windows, if you want to do anything, then we used to do that kind of functions or operations by using mouse and keyboard actions only. If you want to refresh, if you want to create, or if you want to open any other softwares, then we used to use this mouse and keyboard actions. That is called as an graphical user interface. Okay, graphical user interface. And for example, let's open one application. Okay, it will open and Windows operating system is not an free operating system. Okay, it is not an free operating system. Okay, let's I want to open Amazon. Yes, everybody knows this application. So if you want to book an order or place an order, then if you see here, it is supporting GUI, graphical user interface. We can easily move a click and order, book anything we want to do by using GUI. But if you want to do these kind of operations by using uh, commands or command line interface, then we need to write uh, every code for everything what we want to do in the application, but it is not an easy thing. Okay, writing the codes or writing scripting languages is not an easy thing when compared to GUI. That's why. And if this Windows operating system is not an free operating system, it is costly thing. Okay, and if you want to purchase a new laptop or computer or system with Windows operating system or without Windows operating system, then the cost between those two, the system which is comes with the Windows operating system and which is not coming with the Windows operating system. We have a system which is not coming with Windows operating system means it is coming with the by default Unix or Linux operating system. By default, it is with the Ubuntu or Linux or Unix operating system. For for buying a Unix or Linux operating systems laptop, we no need to pay extra money. Okay, but if you want to buy a laptop with Windows operating system, then we have to pay some extra amount. Okay, because it's not an free. Of course, we are using Windows operating system in all of our laptops or systems, but the thing is, this in Windows operating system is not an free one. We are using that kind of Windows operating system in informal way. Okay, that is not a licensed version. But if you want licensed version, we have to pay, we have to register, and we have to pay. Okay, as we know, that is about Windows operating system. So here I am representing that point. It is not a free operating system. It's not a free operating system. Okay, we need to buy the license. Okay, now let's coming into the our topic, like Unix operating system. So here Unix. So Unix is also a CLI. CLI means command line interface. Command line interface. Here also we need to give the commands to interact with the OS. Okay. So the first Unix was introduced by Bell Laboratories in 1969. Okay. So introduced by Bell Laboratories. Bell Laboratory in 1969. Okay, 1969. But it is available to public from 1980. It is available to public from 1980. So they started developing this application, but completing the application and giving it to the public is from 1980. Okay, available to public from 1980. Okay, next, and other company also introduced these one of the cloning for Unix operating system is IBM. Okay, IBM was also introduced one of the Unix clone app OS, one of the Unix clone OS. Okay, clone means here flavor. One of the flavor of Unix was introduced by IBM. Okay, that name is AIX. Okay, AIX by IBM. As we know, IBM is a big company. Okay, but the thing is, so here Unix is also a free operating system in the initial days, but after a few years, everyone was using that Unix operating system, and they are doing some necessary changes to the source code, and they are releasing new versions of that Unix. So from that time onwards, Unix stopped giving its OS as free. Okay, they started asking the money to install or to use that operating system. Okay, so here IBM has also introduced one operating system called AIX. But the drawback in this AIX operating system is it is only helpful for it is used only for IBM systems. So if you want to use IBM's AIX operating system, then you need to purchase the IBM laptop or IBM computer only. IBM laptop or IBM computer only, then only that AIX operating system will work. Okay, so it is not, if you purchase any other laptops like Lenovo, Dell, HP, okay, okay, if you want to buy any other laptops, then that kind of operation will not work. So it will work only IBM operating, I mean IBM systems only, or IBM computers only. That is the drawback of IBM AAX. Okay, it's it suits only for IBM systems only. Okay, and HP also introduced one of the flavor or clone of Unix. That name is UXHP. UXHP. Here I am going to write that one. UXHP by HP. Not only these two companies, guys, so many companies, so many flavors of Unix are introduced by some so many companies. But we know about IBM and HP, right? That's why I have taken as example. But we Unix have so many clone operating systems, okay, or so many flavors of that operating system. Okay, and coming to our Linux. Linux was introduced in which year? 1990. I mean, it was developed in 1990, but it was available to public from 1991. But who invented the Linux? Who introduced who introduced the Linux? Here I am going to specify. Introduced by Linus Torvalds. Okay, Linus Torvalds is the person who introduced these Linux. Hence, we have already Unix, but why he's developed this Linux? Because Unix is an in the initial days it is an free operating system, but now it is not an free operating system. Now it is not an free operating system. So these Linus Torvalds is doing his college project to give a free operating system, open source operating system. So in the part of his college project, he introduced this Linux OS. Okay, he introduced this Linux OS, and he has taken some of the elements or some of the codes from Unix, and from that code, from that source code, he developed this Linux OS. But it is a free or open source OS. But it is a free or open source OS. Okay, and he introduced in this voice in 1990. Okay, in 1990. Okay, available to public, available to public from 1990 one. Okay, and it is an open source. Open source. Open source means we can edit the source code and according to our requirement, and we can release the new version or new flavors or new clone of that Linux OS. Okay, open source operating system. Yeah, so that's all for this session. Now, before closing our session, let's have brief idea about what we have discussed in the uh, today's class. Okay, so first of all, we have discussed about Unix or Linux. Unix or Linux is an OS. OS is nothing but operating system. Or what is an OS? OS is an interface between user and computer, and it is easy to translate between user and computer. Okay, is translate the high level language into low level language into high level language. We can install the packages in this OS. So the computer can only understand the language is binary. Binary means two means either 0 or 1. And next we discussed about MS DOS. MS is an MS DOS as an CLI operating system. CLI means command line interface. So if you want to interact with the MS DOS, then we have to give the commands, and it is an free operating system, but it will not support multi-user. For that reason, MS Win uh, releases the one of its operating system like MS Win. MS Win means Windows. It is an graphical user interface. No need to use commands for interacting with this OS. So it is not a free operating system. We need to buy the or purchase the license. Then we came for Unix. So Unix is also a command line interface. It was developed by Bell Laboratory in 1969 and available to public from 1980. Okay, available to public from 1980. And so from this, by using this source code, IBM developed one AIX, but it's used for only IBM systems only. Then HP also introduced one of the its operating system from this Unix, that is called as an UXHP. Okay, and from by using this Unix, yeah, Linus Torvalds was developed Linux operating system. He is introduced that in 1990 and available to public from 1991. It is an open source operating system. Okay, it is an open source operating system. I hope this video is helpful for you. If you find this video is helpful for you, then please share it with your friends to remember the point what we have discussed in the class. Okay, thanks for watching. If you have any doubts regarding this issue, then please comment below. I will try to sort it out as early as possible. Okay, thanks for